Virgo, welcome in. I'm going to do a reading for all my Virgos. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Maybe it's your North Node. Maybe you're involved with Virgo. As always, please take what works, leave what doesn't. We all know who we are in the story. Now, I sure appreciate each and every one of you. And if you appreciate what I do here, just do me a favor. Hit that like button. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Really makes a difference to my channel. And I would love to see my channel continue to grow. But listen, we are turning our attentions to you, Virgo. We have money on your mind. Look, you might need to open up and invest in something that could possibly bring you a lot more money. Let's see if this is too good to be true. At least I think you're thinking like, this is really great. You know, if I spend my money on this, I'm going to get exactly what I want. Somehow that doesn't feel good, right? And here we have the Temperance card at the base of what's going on. Are you sure you want to spend your money on that? Are you sure you want to buy that? All right, let's see. Don't make any impulsive purchases or investments until you know a little bit more of what's going on. Because look, what's above you here is the Seven of Swords reversed. Somebody might be trying to get rid of something quickly, you know, making it seem like it's just exactly what you need, and then you're going to find yourself in court. Be very, very careful of dealings this week, all right? You know, because I feel like this is one of these energies, the Four of Pentacles. I mean, we're hanging on to our money because we're afraid to spend it for fear of, you know, we're not going to have any more if we spend it. I mean, this is all we have. And if you spend everything you have on something, you know, thinking you're going to get exactly what you want, but the cards above and below you are saying, whoa, back off, Nelly, you know, Temperance card says, pull back a little bit. Don't be too impulsive, because you're going to find that you may end up in court or in a legal matter, you know, and I just feel as if you're just going to feel really bad. All right, we've got the Queen of Cups coming in reverse. We have the Death card coming in at the end of this. All right, listen, if you can put it off, put it off. All right, that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying put it off until more, you know, kind of reveals itself. Because this impulsive decision, I feel like it's coming out of an emotional place, not out of a practical, logical, you know, place. So, you know, we want to be thinking clearly when we're making these decisions, especially if it's a lot of money that you're looking at, you know. And I mean, can you really afford to do that? Because the Four of Pentacles says, can you afford to spend the money and open up and maybe invest in something? I just don't like that it's followed by the Justice card, right? Just saying. But let's go a little bit further. Now, there is a King of Wands in your life. This could be somebody who you are dealing with, or this is, you know, you yourself. Now, the energy of the King of Wands is somebody who is very creative, can think outside of the box. And I feel like this is somebody who could possibly really help you, all right? You know, think outside of the box in this situation. Maybe give you a little bit of clarity. Because you end the week having some clarity, and you're angry, you know? Because it's almost as if, you know, maybe this person points out, you know, some key factors that you need to think about in this situation. So, yeah, before you move too quickly and could end really badly, maybe you want to heed the advice of someone, all right? Like this person here, this king. Because I feel as if they see that, you know, yeah, you know, there's this need for you to kind of, you know, you act from a place of stability. Because the Queen of Cups, you can't trust the Queen of Cups. You can't trust your emotions. You can't trust what you say. Does he really believe everything that you're saying? You know, so yeah, you've got to be very, very careful, because I feel as if you twist your words or you think that somebody is thinking that you are thinking the same way, they're not, all right? So I hope that made sense. Anyway, Virgo, I just feel as if you can't trust what you're even saying to yourself, and neither do other people. So just be aware of that, because that could really end up, you know, in your detriment. And again, with this, you know, Temperance card coming in reverse, it could come from a place of, you know, impulse and not being, you know, patient and just kind of spitting something out that you may regret later on. So be careful of that. All right. You know, but listen, at the end of the day, I feel as if this is a week where you are going to be forced to really see some of the decisions that you need to make moving forward. You know, because bottom of the deck, we have the Two of Swords. All right, so there's a situation that probably is, you know, one that you need to desperately make a decision, and, you know, maybe this is the solution is, you know, well, if I do this and I get the money, then I can do that, and, you know, and I just feel as if you're going in blindfolded, and this person sees that. So before you make any moves, maybe you really need to listen to what somebody is going to tell you in a situation, maybe to keep you from making a big mistake. All right, because I do see that that's a big possibility because you're not coming from a logical standpoint this week. All right, so it's not a good week for you to make decisions. And I see that there's a couple that you want to make, you know, but maybe this isn't the week to make them because you're not thinking clearly. Yes, you can make these decisions, but, you know, we need to know exactly what it is we are doing when we make the decisions. All right, so like a little bit of clarity. So I just feel like you're not grounded, Virgo. But what can I say? You know, and I think you're acting out of, you know, desperation and impulse rather than, you know, the need to think it through. All right, when you're making these decisions, we have to think it through. We have to take the blindfold off, you know, because if we don't, and we act with, you know, this irrational, like, well, I'm just going to pick one and hope for the best, you know, you may not pick the right one. All right, so that's what I've got for you, Virgo. Please take what works, leave what doesn't. I hope this resonated with someone out there because I don't want you to make a big mistake, all right? Hold back, not this week. Just give it some time and process, all right? That's all I'm going to say. Don't act impulsively this week. All right, Virgo, take what works, leave what doesn't. I'll see y'all later. Bye now.